This is the case of Katie Radcliffe. This is the reconstruction of the night that she died.
Would you like to take a seat? All the regulars are in.
Kate had worked at Bumble's too for nearly 2 years.
Oh, I go on Saturday actually. Should be quite fun. I'm going to Butlins.
Alison Glover, who runs the salon, remembers Kate with great affection.
Kate came to the salon 2 years ago, straight out of school. She was always very friendly and willing to help and do anything that she could possibly do. She had a great enthusiasm for the job.
Kate lived 2 miles away in Hawley with her parents and older sister Joanne.
Kate was my only sister. She loved going out. She loved dancing. She had a lot of friends. She loved her job. She was just a normal 18-year-old, happy-go-lucky girl. Where's my jacket? Is it ready?
Which one?
My blue one.
It's in there, there you go.
Got it.
Kate and her best friend Michelle always went out on a Saturday night. Kate and Michelle often went to Ragamuffins in Camberley. It's a popular nightclub in an indoor shopping precinct. This Saturday they arrived there shortly before 9 o'clock. They'd arranged to meet some other friends there.
Thanks, Scott. I want to go and dance though. Come on, Michelle, come and dance. Come on.
There's hardly anyone down there.
Don't worry about it. Come on, come dance.
Several people at the club noticed a man in his mid-20s standing alone at one end of the dance floor. He was dressed entirely in black, and he stood staring silently at the dancers throughout the night. During the evening, Kate met a former boyfriend, Metin. They'd ended their relationship some 6 months ago, but Kate was still very fond of him. As closing time approached, the lone man was still standing in the same place. There were 516 people at Ragamuffins that night. Police have spoken to all except 33 of them. No one saw Kate leave the club. She probably went when the music finished around 2 o'clock. Assuming she'd left with Metin, her friends didn't worry about her. In fact, he'd left before her. Police believe she went outside searching for him. At the precinct, Kate had returned to Ragamuffins. She seemed to be looking for someone. She was clearly upset.
Someone's sitting in front of the nightclub door. Kevin, could you get a move for us, please? Also inform the young lady that it's 2:30 and we've got to lock the doors as well.
As soon as I saw her, I realised it was the young lady they were talking about on the radio. I was waiting to lock up, and she was one of the last to leave. I asked her to use the automatic doors, and I had to unlock the door to let her out.
Just get her out, please.
Yeah. She just stood there, and after I locked up, I remember logging down the time. It was 2:30.
In the early hours of the 7th of June 1992, a young 18-year-old woman was stabbed. She was an apprenticed hairdresser named Katie Radcliffe, and she was stabbed to death as she walked home from Ragamuffins nightclub in Camberley. Katie was stabbed 32 times with a 6.5-inch knife. It entered through her ribs and pierced her heart. She was also stabbed in her vagina and anus. Some of Katie Radcliffe's jewellery was stolen as she lay dying on the pavement. But then that was not enough for this murderer, who got hold of Katie Radcliffe's body, where she was dragged along a road and then dumped by a cemetery wall. A group of young boys found the body the next morning. As police started to investigate the killing, they noted the brutality of the attack, with some of the knife blows that Katie had suffered had gone straight through her body. Her sexual organs had been mutilated, and the officers found that her clothes had been pulled up. There was no sign of sexual assault, but due to the nature and the severity of the injuries inflicted and the fact that the attack appeared to be sexually motivated, police believed the attacker to be an adult male. Because of this, the real killer went unidentified, but then, 2 years later, on the exact anniversary of Katie's murder, a 13-year-old pupil was going about her day at school when she was attacked with a knife for no apparent reason in the toilets of her school, Collingwood College Comprehensive School, where she was stabbed in the back when she was not expecting it. This caused a punctured lung The attack was stopped when 5 other students entered the toilets and intervened. But the victim said the attacker was smiling and appeared happy during it. But the person who committed this crime was not a male. It was not an adult. It was a 13-year-old schoolgirl. Her name was Sharon Carr. Sharon ran off at the time. She did not return home that night, and she was found the following day on school grounds as she was being arrested by police who'd been searching for her. Sharon was arrested and her family were informed, but Sharon was not shy about these crimes. She then repeatedly boasted about the murder of the hairdresser Katie Radcliffe to friends and family. Anybody who would listen, she would speak on the phone, write letters and diary entries in prison. After her arrest, Sharon Carr was sent to a medical assessment centre where she tried to strangle 2 members of staff. She was charged with 2 counts of actual bodily harm for this, in addition to the 2 charges of the attack at Collingwood School. She was in and out of various psychiatric units, but continued to regularly seriously assault other members of staff and inmates. So she was transferred to an all-boys unit at Aycliffe Secure Centre. Soon after she'd gone to Bullwood Hall, staff discovered that Sharon Carr was talking about the killing of Katie Radcliffe to friends and family on the phone and in her diary. She also admitted to one prison officer who she had a crush on that she'd killed Katie. Her diaries were found to contain details of her sexual excitement at the thought of Katie Radcliffe's death. And Sharon Carr also commented that she felt jealous of her victim and remarked that the devil and the forces which motivated her. One passage read, "If only I could kill you again, I promise I would make you suffer more this time, you effing slag. Your terrified screams turned me on." The sexual element of the killing had previously been indicated by the mutilation of Katie's body. Sharon Carr had also written, "I swear I was born to be a murderer," and in one letter to a friend wrote, "I'm a killer, killing is my business and my business is good." She also drew pictures of the knife involved. Detectives questioned Sharon Carr over the murder of the hairdresser, Katie, and she confessed to killing her, admitting that she had repeatedly stabbed Katie over and over. She graphically described one particular injury and provided details that the police had deliberately withheld, meaning that she had knowledge only the killer would have known. Sharon Carr also knew that a bracelet had been stolen from Katie Radcliffe, which police had not revealed in the media. Sharon Carr helped police film a reconstruction of the murder in which she acted out the murder. When questioned about the attack, repeatedly laughed about the details. Police found that Sharon Carr had a long history of cruelty to animals. But in 1997, after a long trial at Winchester Crown Court, Sharon Carr was convicted of murder. The jury had deliberated for 5 hours before reaching a unanimous verdict of guilty, choosing to convict her of murder, not manslaughter. The conviction meant that Sharon Carr was officially Britain's youngest ever female murderer. When sentencing Sharon Carr, Mr. Justice Baker remarked, "What is clear is that you had a sexual motive for this killing, and it is apparent both from your brutal manner in which you mutilated her body and chilling entries in your diary that killing, as you put it, turned you on. You were, in my view, an extremely dangerous young woman." Sharon Carr was seen smiling as she left the dock after her conviction. She received a minimum tariff of at least 14 years imprisonment after her trial. This was a difficult case to understand. Sharon Carr was branded the devil's daughter in the press. The media reported extensively historical conviction of a young murderer, highlighting her obsession with death and violence. She was constantly transferred from one hospital to another. While in Broadmoor, she continued to assault staff and other residents and admitted wanting to kill a fellow inmate by slitting her throat. In 2004, it was reported that Sharon Carr's defence team were challenging the 14-year minimum tariff, as well as her conviction. This lady, my God, is a danger to society, and you want to overrule her conviction? Come on guys, would you want to overrule it if it was your child that was the next victim? And in 2007, Sharon Carr was moved again to a medium secure Orchard unit, but was sent to HM Prison Bronzefield in 2015 as a restricted status prisoner, as she was presenting a risk to patients and staff. Her warrant stated that she no longer required treatment and that no effective treatment could be given. In December 2018, she was moved to Prison Newton, but was quickly moved back to Bronzefield after another violent attack on another inmate. She has also disclosed the desire to murder another prisoner. As of September 2022, Sharon Carr continued to be in prison, despite her expiration of a minimum tariff. It was also reported in September 2022 that Sharon Carr was to have another parole hearing to determine whether she should be released. In my opinion, she should never be released. And in August 2023, Sharon Carr was denied parole after still being considered a danger to the public. I'd be really interested to know what you think about this case. Let me know in the comments section below, and I'll be back with you again soon. Bye for now.